Hello, everyone. Welcome to Studio A in our KSSH Broadcast Center at Santa Susana High School. I'm your host, Logan Reinheimer, and I'm so honored to have with us today Dr. Yusuf. Welcome.
Thank you for welcoming me, Logan. Actually, welcome to everybody watching right now. This is Staff Development Day, so we have a couple thousand of our friends, hopefully, enjoying what we're about to discuss here. And before we even begin, Logan, congratulations on this wonderful space. This studio is amazing. It's comfortable, it's spacious, it's cozy, it's warm, and I mean, congratulations to you and all of your classmates who put this together and made it a reality.
Yeah, thank you. Our students have put a lot of effort into this, especially last year.
It shows. It shows. Really, kudos to you and everybody involved.
Yeah. We have a lot to get into, so let's get started. First off, there's a lot of conversation about schools and how the education system is failing us. Now, I, as a senior right now, personally struggle with hearing this, considering I see the amount of effort our teachers put in every day to help us succeed. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I think there are over 2,000 people watching right now that would say this entire conversation, this narrative about schools failing and education failing our students, it's tired, it's old. I mean, in 1983, a document was written, right? It is A Nation at Risk. It is under the Ronald Reagan administration, long before your time, Logan. But even then, in the 80s, when I was a student, education is failing, the economy is going to crash. What are we going to do? We're falling behind. All of a sudden, in 2002, under the George Bush administration, No Child Left Behind is enacted into law. And even then, our education system is failing students. What are we going to do? We're falling behind. Every Student Succeeds Act in 2015 under the Obama administration. Here's the thing. Education, Logan, keeps getting all this blame for what it's not doing, how it's coming up short. But here's the deal. Since the 80s to now, all this advancement and all of this progress and all of the wonderful things that have happened, right? The economy didn't crash. The world didn't, cave in. The United States continues to advance. Can we do better? Of course we can do better. But with every single thing that's happened and all the progress and the growth that's happened, education doesn't get the credit when things go well. But somehow education gets the blame when things aren't going well. So if we're going to get blame, then give us credit for all the success. And again, over 2,000 people here watching will tell us that we are doing all the right things.
I see what you mean. Right now, I'm a student and you're the superintendent. But back then, you were a student too. And how has things changed since you were in school versus now?
Well, the teenage me would have been in school in the 80s. So fast forward now, 40 plus years later, and there's some obvious things, right? Technology, the internet, now, artificial intelligence. Do you even know what an encyclopedia is by any chance?
Yes.
You've used an encyclopedia?
Not exactly.
Yeah, because you wouldn't have to. So back during my time as a student, we would have to go through encyclopedias and we would open up dictionaries to get information. And, the information we were trying to access, it took us a lot longer to get and to understand. Now you have information at your fingertips. We have information at our fingertips. And of course, the requirements that we have now in education as students, right? The testing requirements, the pressures of college or not going to college and careers or which career. But we're even starting at a younger age now to identify what our, lifelong path is going to be. So much has changed in the world and much has changed since I was a student compared to you now.
Yeah, and talking about testing and things like that, what is the role of these standardized tests and how do they measure student achievement?
Good question, right? So we're coming up on testing season right here in the spring, and I have to ask you. So you're a senior now. Last year you were a junior. Do you remember your testing experience in terms of standardized testing, the state testing?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and you and all of your classmates, juniors, at that point last year, were taking these exams. Well, we take these exams as students, and sadly, they're only one measure of student success. And I say sadly because they're the most public measure of student success. But we know that it isn't about this one isolated moment in time that tells us everything we need to know about a student, because you've got assignments, you've got projects, you've got this experience here, right? This doesn't show up on a standardized test. What you're doing, what you're accomplishing, and what your classmates are doing and what they're accomplishing. Here's the difference, right? Is all of those in the public who aren't associated with education, and even our families, because our parents can't be in the classrooms with us, they take those exams and they weigh them heavily. But we know there are multiple measures. So we can't take this one measure lightly, because it is significant to the public. It is significant to the community. It is significant to the state. And unfortunately, which is why I used the word sadly before, unfortunately, we do get, I guess, evaluated, and we do get measured, to use that term again, by how we perform on those. So it's not a fair comparison. It's not the only comparison, but it's the most public comparison.
Okay. I see. I mean, just mentioning all the things that you had to do back then versus everything that has come up now with computers, AI, and things like that. How do our schools like balance our older mediums with our newer technologies?
And that's just it, right? Is it's a necessity right now. I think the crossroad that we're at right now, when we first in Simi Valley, when we first purchased our devices, our Chromebooks in 2015 and 16, you were a student with us, so you would have been in elementary school. The reason why I bring that up is because you now have a completely different device with the Microsoft Surface. So are we overusing those devices? Can they be used differently? What's the purpose of the device? Last year, we had to make a decision to not allow elementary students and middle school students to take them home because of breakage and damage, replacement, and costs. So there are ways, right? There are ways for us to teach students. There are ways for our educators to create lesson plans and create opportunities for learning that don't require devices. But it would be foolish for us to think we don't need them. We have to have them. I mean, what we're doing right now, we couldn't have done when I was a student, in the 80s. So there is a place for it. There is a need for it. I think what we need to do in education is how can we leverage it to the best of our ability to support all of those who are in the classroom, teaching all of the students who are in the classroom and supporting all the students who are in the classroom. What does that look like? What's the practical use? What's the best use for them?
Yeah, because I think we're not just only seeing this discussion in the public, but also in our classrooms with a few of my teachers purposely going back to paper and handwritten assignments and things like that. And talking about these ways of measurement like standardized testing and things like that, I also know there's been a few accountability systems like No Child Left Behind and things like PLC meetings. I mean, what role do they have in just helping our students?
So to distinguish, right? So something like a No Child Left Behind or Every Student Succeeds Act, that comes from the federal government. Those are laws that are passed. Professional learning communities are our strategies and our practices internally here in CME. So the reason why you and 15,000 students are home today is because over 2,000 of us are in our professional learning teams today. We're either at school sites or in our departments. And the reason we do this is because we learn best from sharing with one another. Right. So grade level teachers learn best from one another, content area teachers, right? Science teachers getting together to talk about, best practices for delivering instruction in science, or reviewing, student data or creating common assessments. Grade level teachers, in January we had all first grade teachers together, second grade teachers together, third grade teachers together. So to clarify, professional learning communities, it's an instructional practice that we have adopted here in Simi Valley. It's not mandated by any sort of state or federal law, but it's how we are attempting to support all of the professionals so that they can continue to grow.
Okay, so it's like this big collaborative effort, like together, so where the results may not be immediate, but there's growth over time.
It is definitely a journey. It is a journey over time where there isn't any finish line. It's exactly what you said right now, right? It's teamwork. It's this class. It's this class because you're sitting here, but out here, there are another 20 plus students doing their part of editing and sound and camera. So no one succeeds on their own. It's a collective team effort because, Loken, when you succeed, everyone succeeds. When any one person succeeds, we all succeed. And that's the whole point of working together in a community, on a team.
I mean, yeah, I especially see it in this class, when we all fail, when one person fails, we all fail, and if one person succeeds, we all succeed. And in perseverance for our students, what lessons can our students learn in times where they must persevere even when the progress may not be as fast as they desire?
When I'm asked that question about, immediate gratification versus success over time, my mind goes to, and you may have, learned about this in your own courses. It goes to the 60s where John F. Kennedy, at the time he was president, he challenged the United States to go to the moon, to put a man on the moon. And that was a long-term project. That wasn't going to happen overnight. And he was assassinated, yet the goal of landing a man on the moon continued. Everyone embraced it. Everyone was working together. By everyone, I mean the United States of America, continued that mission even though the individual who introduced it wasn't there. So perseverance and long-term success, here's how I would respond to that. John F. Kennedy challenged the United States to land a man on the moon, not because it was easy, but because it was hard. And the harder something is, and the harder the experience, and the harder it is for you to continue moving forward and continuing to fail forward, when you actually achieve that success, the reward is so much greater because the journey was that much harder. And that's not any different than what we experience in schools and in the classroom. Because if it was easy, anybody could be a teacher. If it was easy, anybody could be an administrator. If it was easy, anybody can be a paraprofessional, but not anybody is any of those things. Because those things are hard and meaningful, and the reward is that much sweeter when we experience success.
I mean, I completely agree. Seeing our teachers and our admin here just at Santa Sue, they do a wonderful job. And there's been some periods where it's been tough, but they've always persevered through. And I mean, just thinking of all of our SVOC teachers and our admin, what makes you most proud of them?
What makes me the most proud is how committed and dedicated and how much it is that our colleagues pour their hearts into their work. And I'm talking about from the transportation department to the child nutrition department to the purchasing department. Some people in our district, they don't work directly with students, but they know that their work means so much to students. I mean, we don't have the privilege of being in classrooms every day in terms of all 2,000 employees, but we know that everything that we do contributes to the success of students. So, to answer your question about what makes me so proud, I get to be a small part of that machine that is Simi Valley Schools that continues to support all students to become the best potential version of themselves so that they can go from here to anywhere. Like you, Logan, you just had an interview with Stanford University 2 weeks ago. We couldn't be more proud of you. But even if it wasn't Stanford, even if you decided to go into the workplace, we would hope, everybody watching here and everybody that's supporting you behind the scenes, we would hope that no matter what you did, you become the best version of yourself while you're, achieving those goals.
I mean, thank you. I really do appreciate it. But I not only attribute my success due to what I have done, but also to all the work that every teacher I've ever had has done. I mean, I genuinely wouldn't be here for all the work they've put in. And just thinking about every student and all the success that has happened, is there any message you want to leave with the students today?
For the students, absolutely. Know that you're loved, that you're cared for. The people who are working in our schools and all across our district, they want you to succeed. They want you to do well. They're here for your well being. And, my hope is that every student feels connected somehow to their school, whether it's to a program, Loken, whether it's to an adult at the school, maybe, the reason they get up every morning and are excited about going to school is because they're friends, or maybe it's a class. Whatever it is, if you and your 15,000, district mates across Simi Valley schools, if you can find some sort of connection and something that you embrace about our schools, it just makes all the difference in the world. It allows you to be, a better version of you.
I mean, I feel that I have a connection to our school, to many of the friends here, and also to just many of the teachers that have really like sparked new interest and things like that. But I want to thank you for all the time that you and you guys have spent here, and I really hope that you've learned something from this discussion.
Yeah. And I want to thank you also. And I know that you're about to go into your different responsibilities, whether you're in a department or in a school site or in a content area. We wish you the best. Have a great day of learning from one another. And just know that there are 15,000 Lokins out there that are counting on us. And my gosh, I could not be more proud of each and every single one of you. And Logan, I couldn't be more proud of just you and everybody in this class and everybody in our district. We have a lot of work to do, a lot of opportunity to grow, a lot of opportunity to improve. And I know that together is exactly how we're going to move our district forward. So keep plugging away, keep working, keep believing, and keep working together. Thank you, everybody.
I'm Logan Reinheimer with Dr. Yusuf signing off from Studio A. Have a great day.